Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. Hi, for those of you who are new here. And it is a hot day today, and I have been outside for like an hour with my son playing, and now I'm a sweaty, gross mess. I want to apologize, but at the same time, guys, I'm a mom, and sometimes I have to film when I can film, which sometimes is not the most convenient because sometimes you look like a hot mess. And I know that's not the most desirable way to film, but you know what? If you don't care that I look like a sweaty mess and you want to be friends and you like makeup and it's not about how you look, let's be friends. Subscribe to my channel. Today we are talking about Manny's new blush palette, Lunar Beauty. Manny is a big YouTuber if you haven't heard of him before, and he has his own makeup brand called Lunar Beauty. They are still a little bit of a newer brand, and he slowly is launching things each year, and this time he did a blush palette. Now I am a huge fan of blush palettes because I hate kind of like digging through my stash and finding each individual blush. Of course I have loads of makeup because I review on the daily for you guys, but someone who is maybe a regular makeup consumer may only have a couple of blushes on hand, which is the smart thing to do. But I personally really like this because I like using multiple shades of blushes, and honestly when I first saw this I was like, okay, she's cute. I mean, she's cute, like they look like colors I'd like, but honestly I was kind of like, I'll get it so I can review something new. I wasn't over the moon about it. I knew it was pretty, but it didn't have my heart completely. Like I wasn't dying over it. But when I got it in the mail a month later from Morphe, because Morphe took forever to ship it, but I do believe that it's because of COVID, I guess. I don't really know. It took a really long time to get to me, but when I swatched it the other day, I was like, okay. So these are the blushes that anytime a company releases a new blush, these are all the shades that I'm debating between. Like, they're each $35. Which color am I gonna get? Because I can't choose, because these are the ones that my eye like goes to, and I'm like, do I want this color or this color or this color? So I was like, these are all the blushes that I love. All the shades. You have peachy tones, you have some lighter tones, you have a shimmery blush, you have some, I love these types of deeper shades too, these kind of terracotta-y shades. I think they're so beautiful, and I think even fair skin tones can pull them off. You just have to be very light-handed, and I love these so much. I do have more swatches on my Instagram, which is For the Love of Glitter, and I do post a lot of makeup photos there as well as swatches, so go follow me there if you're into that kind of thing. But when I swatched these, I was like, yeah, okay, nope, I'm obsessed. This is probably gonna become my everyday blush palette. So diving into this palette, now we are going to use two blushes on this side and two on this side, one on the nose, and then use the shimmery one kind of as a topper, and we'll see what happens. So we're gonna start with the darkest shade here called Gravity. It's kind of like a terracotta peach shade, and I'm going to take this Luxie 660, this is actually a foundation brush, but I like it for blush, and I'm actually going to take it more towards my contour. I like to do this when I'm doing a lighter and darker blush, to do the darker blush kind of lower, but as you can see, even though that's the darkest shade in the palette, I don't feel like I'm the most tan person. I think that I'm getting more tan as summer is kind of here and we spend more time outside, but I still feel like on my skin tone, like it's really not that deep. So if you're scared of this color, don't be. It also makes a beautiful eyeshadow. I have used it. So next we're going to go into Twilight. This is kind of the more peachy type of tone, and we're going to take that on the same brush and kind of add it on top, focusing. I like to focus this one a little bit more towards the apples. As you can see, it's very, very pigmented, so they definitely are buildable I'm gonna put a little bit more just so you can see the color really nicely. These are both shades that I personally really like. I'm gonna turn my light down a little bit, but there they are. So I like both of them. I don't have much cons about this other than you can go a little bit overboard. You really want to start off light and build if you're a blush fiend like myself. So I don't know, I love these colors. I don't have anything else to say. There is a tiny bit of kickback and they are super pigmented, but they blend out really nicely. So even if you, even when I did go kind of heavy handed, I feel like it still blended out pretty flawlessly. So I'm very happy with that. On the next cheek, we're going to go into Stargaze, which is this peachy, no, I'm sorry, we're going to go into Spacey, which is kind of honestly more of a mauve than a peach to me. So we're going to take that kind of mauve-y tone, which I really love because honestly, the colors that I always go to are peachy or mauve. So this, I could see myself reaching for this palette every single day. So this is matte. All of them are matte except for one of them, and that's Spacey. So it is definitely more on the mauve side. So then we're going to take Stargaze, which is the more peachy pink, and put that one closer to the apples of our cheeks. And this one is my type of color. Like Stargaze, this one is the color that anytime I see a company launches is like the shade I go to. So this is kind of more of your pinkier tones, a little bit mauve-y, a little slightly peachy pink, and these are your very peachy tones. I like them all. So I don't really have much to say about it. We're gonna take Pink Moon, which is the lightest shade, and on my skin tone it doesn't show up like that intense, but I'm gonna put it on my nose so you can kind of see what it's like. I especially like it for my nose because it's not too intense. I actually like to do the bridge of my nose and not the tip of my nose because the tip of my nose I feel like has a lot of texture on it, and I feel like when I put blush there it just kind of emphasizes it a lot more. You could also use this lighter shade to kind of highlight on top to kind of blend it into your highlighter, I guess. So there's a few different things you can do there, or you can also use it if you use these as eyeshadows, which I did try in my first impressions video, and then I deleted that video because I wasn't that happy with it, but I did use it to blend out the other shades. It's kind of your transition type of shade, and it worked really nicely for that. Next, we're going to take the last shade called Soleil, and this is this shimmery beautifulness, and it definitely is more like a topper. It's very peachy. But I honestly feel like with this shimmery shade, even though it is shimmer, you can't go too overboard right off the bat. Like, you don't have intense shimmer. I feel like you kind of have to look for it. Obviously, I have not tried it on its own yet, but I feel like it's buildable so that it does look more like a highlighting blush, but I feel like you kind of have to build it to get there. Otherwise, you see a very slight sheen, so I don't think it's overly shimmery, which is also good for those of you who don't like intense shimmer. Real quick, I'm actually going to take Stargaze and put some of that on my nose too, just to add a little bit more pinkiness to it. And then I like to take whatever excess I have on my blush brush and put on my forehead, just to kind of add color to the rest of my face. So this is the blush. They're all very pretty. I feel like they work really well for light to medium tan skin tones. I'm not sure how well these blushes will work on deep dark skin tones. I'm actually going to take a Lunar Beauty highlighter. These are honestly some of my favorite highlighters. I love the packaging. I do have a first impressions on these, but I feel like Mars really goes well, which is the more pinkier highlight, with kind of this whole vibe I have going on. And I feel like the blush is also not too intense that you can't get away without wearing a highlighter. Obviously for every day this might be enough glow for you. You might not want intense, but if you really want to amp it up and you really want an intense highlighter, you could still definitely do that, and I feel like you wouldn't look too greasy or anything like that, because I feel like just as with the blush alone, I don't feel like I'm highlighted as much as I really like to be, because I'm highlight me up type of girl. Like, yeah, let's get it. Let's get this going. So I'm going to add some Mars, which is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Let's talk a little bit about the quality. The quality is honestly great. It's buildable. It does have a little bit of a kickback, but it's not too bad. And I don't know, I really like that you don't have to be too scared to use this palette because it starts off a little bit more sheer with some of them. I love that the shimmery one is not over the top shimmery, so you can still wear a highlighter with it. That's sometimes things I don't like about shimmery blushes, is when they're so intense they're basically like a darker highlighter, and you just can't really pair it with a highlighter. I still like to wear highlighter, so I think you totally can do that with this if you're an intense highlight wearer like myself. But I feel like you really have to build it to build up that shiny sheen to it as well, so that it's just, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. It's $35. That's a great deal. I think the packaging is very cute. You have these raised moons and it's so beautiful. Lunar Beauty always has really pretty packaging. And I will be using this. This is a palette that I will actually use probably every single day. I also have used it on my eyes, and this makes a beautiful all over the lid shade, kind of terracotta-y. I used it the other day, and then I put on like a really thick eyeliner, and it just looked really pretty. So I do really recommend this if you're looking for a blush palette and you kind of like these types of tones as well. They're just so pretty. I love it. I love it way more than I ever anticipated. I thought I'd just kind of be like, nah, and then I realized, okay, these are my favorite types and shades of blushes that I always desire in one palette. I realize that's not the same for everyone, but for me it is that way, so I can highly recommend this one to you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this palette. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Did you pick one up? And again, for more photos of makeup, go follow me at For the Love of Glitter. If you want to be friends, subscribe, like this video, say hi down below. Even if you do subscribe, sometimes YouTube won't even show me in your feed unless you hit that notification bell. So if you do like my content, don't forget to do that. And you guys have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.